Oblivion's Embrace. Possibly a sword you don't even know exists. Where do you get this thing and what does it do? So you get this from Dremora. Those are the dudes that are Daedric boys in the Oblivion gates that usually are found in the citadels. So usually as you are ascending the citadels, you'll run into Dremora, and sometimes, especially at high level, I think it's like level 23 plus, you can find them carrying Oblivion's Embrace. Now it's a very interesting item in that it has one of the highest ramp effects on a generic item, if we want to look at this as a generic item. It's like a unique generic enchanted item, but it has a unique name. But it has 75% weakness to fire on strike for 10 seconds. It also has 1 point of fire damage per second over 15 seconds. It has 20 uses and a very low charge level of 710. So this is a very interesting item, especially for runs where you are not allowing custom spells or you don't even want to mess around with destruction magic, because 20 uses at 710 charge means that you can recharge this with like common, lesser, and petty soul gems very easily, and those are extremely cheap. And also, if you just like soul trap one of your own summons, you can easily keep this thing charged. But the big advantage here is the fact that you get 75% weakness to fire and you have 20 uses of it. So if you were to play like a kind of generic run where you don't allow certain mechanics, like let's say you're on a character that you don't want to use destruction on, you can open with a weakness to fire 75%, and then like switch to gold brand and still have pretty decent per hit damage. So this is a very nice weapon that uses very low charge level that allows you to combo into other weapons. And I would say that's its real use case. Now, if we wanted to make this weapon better, what kind of spells should we make? Let's say we want to make a 1 ramp for this. So we would just do weakness to fire, probably like this, weakness to fire 10, and then weakness to magic 10. And then I would say soul trap 1. If you just wanted to make, or even soul trap 3, if you wanted to make like a basic 1 ramp. So the idea behind Oblivion's Embrace is not that you use it as your damage weapon, you use it to ramp other weapons or you use it to ramp spells. So we could make like a basic combo where we cast like a fire nuke after using it. So for example, let's just do something like this. Okay. So let's equip it. Let's get this build going. So we would say, so basic fire nuke, and then the basic ramp, then Oblivion's Embrace. Summon a dude. So ramp 1, ramp 2, ramp 3. We could keep casting here. We can do decent damage off of this. So it's a basic like 1-2 ramp into some cheap spells. Now alternatively, we could 3 ramp off of that, where we cast 1 ramp, cast a 2nd ramp, hit with Oblivion's Embrace, and then use our fire damage spell. So let's add a 2nd spell. So another weakness to fire. This time we can do like a lower duration. Weakness to magic. New spell. So then we could do something like this. So we put that on 3, and then new spell we will put on 2. So we're still casting 3 spells, but we're hitting with this to ramp as part of the ramp. Then we hit. That's pretty big damage. It actually kills the Daedroth. So we're actually leveraging this to ramp. So what we're doing here is we're applying 2 weakness to magic effects with weakness to fire, and then when we hit with the Oblivion's Embrace and then cast even a low damage nuke, we're still able to ramp it enough off of the 1-2 ramp. And essentially Oblivion's Embrace is acting as a kind of like weak 3rd ramp, but it's a cheap ramp because it doesn't cost us anything in terms of magicka. So we're just getting this like ramped 75%. That should be getting increased to a pretty huge number, actually. So then when we apply this effect, we get DOT, like a weak DOT that's ramped, plus a big nuke. And the nuke wasn't even that expensive. The actual spell itself Only costs 27 magicka, but does 75 base damage, which is actually pretty good. So this is a pretty interesting weapon. It's really good with ramps, without ramps, in organic play, or just generally speaking. It's a pretty fun weapon to run. It is quite heavy though. So if I were to give this a rating, I would give this like an 8.5 out of 10. There's definitely better options, but if you're doing like a challenge run, if you're limiting yourself to no custom spell making, just that limitation, or let's say you don't like custom spell making, just limiting custom spell making makes this one of the best sources of weakness to fire in the game, because the actual spells you can buy from the vendors tend to be like 30 to 50% weakness. So this gets you a high magnitude weakness for low charge use. So the charge level is very low, so it's very easy to recharge it. And the soul gems that can recharge it are very cheap and easy to buy, so you can easily keep this thing topped off. So even if you just use this with like gold brand, you're going to see massive value because it's giving you 75% weakness. But also with basic ramping, like a 1 ramp or a 2 ramp into this will kill very effectively. So it's quite strong. It's stronger than you think. Now, what you don't want to do with this is use this as your DPS weapon. The point of this weapon is that it's a combo piece. It's not the weapon you whack enemies with to death. You hit them once and then switch to something else, or hit them with a spell. That's the intended purpose. But that is pretty much it for this one. Definitely like and subscribe if you enjoyed this or found this useful, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.